All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the game. We have Team Dignitas versus Team Obey here. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of an issue with the picks and bans, so we're just going to head straight into the game. Let you know now that this game going to be in Big One, and it's going to look like Maniac sitting out in that Osiris. Captain Twig is taking the Ravan this time. Pretty Prime going in on that Thoth, and Emilzy and Ataraxia will be in that duo lane, running that Ram and that Athena, which we'd love to see Ram on this with Ataraxia.
Yeah, and on the side of Team Dignitas here, we've got Variety playing that Kabrakan, Cuvo Fred in the jungle on the Nemesis. That's going to be Zeros playing Kronos there in the middle lane. Love seeing Kronos middle coming from him. Trickstank and Amaterasu, then Arkil and Kurnanos are going to round out that duo lane here for you. But, I mean, you got to be excited about this game. We got Dignitas and Obey, two of the huge powerhouses for EU, battling it out.
Indeed we do, and it's going to be one of those showstoppers. Many people have been saying that we're going to be heading towards a Game 5. If this first game goes well, I reckon this is going to be that statement game. If this goes well for one of the teams, then that momentum coming in is going to be so difficult. We know Trickstank has been one of these very, very emotional players. He's been known to tilt pretty hard, but whether or not we're going to see that come through, he's taking that page out of Emilzy's book, taking away the Amaterasu. So whether or not that's a pick that he's really valuing himself, or just seeing Emilzy on that and thinking, I want to face that right now.
Yeah, well, I got to imagine that at this level, you know, Trickstank's not picking out Amaterasu unless he feels comfortable on it. But I want to talk a little bit here about some of the builds that they're going to think are very important, especially with Ataraxia over in EU. He's always innovating over there in that Hunter role. But if you'll give me just a moment here, a lot of aggression to Arkil on that Kurnanos. Are they going to be able to find that kill? Actually, they're taking their target over to Trickstank. They got them very low, but not able to secure any kills there. Obey's going to back off, maybe force Dignitas back to base. But, you know, just before I was setting you out there a little bit, tell me about, you know, Ataraxia, some of his builds and some of the stuff he's doing.
So Ataraxia has always been this sort of player who's always tried to look at new things. Everyone's been saying, you know, oh, Brawler's Beat Stick second item on a Chiron. His thought process is there for it. This transcendence on Ram that he's come through with. Main reasoning he's looking at actually this transcendence is that initial start, that initial burst of additional power. That transcendence start 1 gives him that little bit more power, coupling in that red buff, which they've been able to not only invade on, but give Ataraxia as well. It just holds his lane pressure a little bit better. Not to mention as well, the way that Obey have been running these drafts. Obey have always been a case of Maniac has been in the front line. Emilzy has been roughly in that front line as well. Twig has been setting up a lot of damage potential, and having that ability to just go up in the ult, hit someone for 400-500 damage without having to worry about whether or not they've been hit with protection rush or anything else is really, really useful for it. Maniac getting a better trade right now against Variety on the Kabrakan.
I got to agree with you. I think some of that that synergy that you're just talking about with Obey is a big part of why they're doing so well here this season. I wanted to ask you a little bit here about, I mean, we saw Obey take those oracles.
Hang on just a second. Mystic Rush goes through, looking like this may potentially be the first, but Meditation comes out from Emilzy as well, looking to do a lot of good work right now.
Nice wall from Kabrakan.
Indeed, he's going to just try and ground and pound. Looks like a full disengage. Kronos has made his way over, and that's going to be first blood down on Captain Twig. Zeros picks up that, and Invade gone. What can only be described as horribly wrong, unfortunately.
That's such an important engagement there for Team Dignitas over there in that right side jungle. Being able to take Captain Twig on the Ravana jungle and take him down a peg, essentially. Take him that first blood on him is so important. Ravana's a lot more difficult for you to play when you come from behind.
Onto Ataraxia, wow. Dashed in as well. Arkill's really looking for the aggression there, but not able to find too much. Ataraxia gets to safety under tower.
Very aggressive, yeah.
Held the beads as well. That's important. He knew he wasn't in any danger there. He held those beads. It looked like Arkill did want to go for that 100-0 potential, but knowing that Ataraxia could just stay the beads, I'm going to stay the course, I'll be fine, I've got full boots, nothing's going to be too problematic. I've got Death's Toll, I can heal up, I've got that Chalice of Healing as well, so I'm not going to worry about that too much and things. I think, though, this is really going to come down to these team fights. You see Cubo Fred on that Nemesis, the whole reason for that is to deal with Captain Twig, and Captain Twig giving up that first blood, we've seen over and over again throughout this series that Ravan coming in, if he doesn't get off to a decent start, he kind of never takes off at all, and Nemesis kind of is in the situation of, well, if I don't get off to a great start, that's fine, as long as I can not fall too far behind. Late game, yeah, sign me up for that.
And that first blood went to Zeros as well, so not only is Zeros the kind of middle laner where I never want him fed against me, but he's also on that Kronos.
Who you never want to reach late game either.
So item dependent is that Kronos. This is huge. The Variety over in that right-hand side trying to get that ultimate, but it's not going to be enough. Emilzy with the ultimate, and then Maniac onto the Osiris, absolutely, with the dunk, able to get that kill over there on that right-hand side. But they don't like
as well. Mystic Rush going to be used here, going onto the Nemesis. Nemesis Nemesis is unfortunately now kind of too squishy to really do anything right now. Thoth channeling that ultimate, looking for it, finds it. No, actually, in fact, he's not going to do anything. And again, Cuba Freddy's taking thing is Arkil picks up Ataraxia. Looks like he did find that 1v1 kill after all.
Yeah, and that's important. Getting that first kill for Obey there on the board, it looks so much better instead of that 0, just having that 1. So that's going to be big for him getting back in here. But it looks like after that big engagement there on the right-hand side, that's going to be enough. Let's go ahead and disengage here, go back to our farm, and try and find the next big point here where they're going to engage. Now, I mean, we're taking a look here at Team Dignitas. I mean, with, oh, wow, kill there in middle lane as well. Milzy essentially deleted. But I was going to say here, with Cuvo Fred on the Nemesis, with Zeros on the Chronos, don't you think for Obey it's kind of now or never?
It kind of is going to get that ticking time bomb, if you excuse the pun slightly. It's very much a case that, yes, late game, you do have that Pretty Prime. He is going to be able to do a lot of damage, but you have to get him there. You have to have someone to be able to protect him. And right now, with Captain Twig falling behind as much as he has done, pushing that Ravon down really hurts them. They're going to get a completely uncontested Gold Fury there.
Yeah, no one from Obey is local. You can tell, just look at this map. It's actually littered with wards from Team Dignitas. That was a calculated move they made. They knew they had vision control over that area, but it looks like that's not going to be the end of the aggression. Obey wants to get something back.
It looks like they've been focusing a lot onto this solo lane. And while I can understand that it's great to get your Osiris fed, it's into a Cabrakan. So you're going to invest a lot into trying to kill him anyway. Also, as well, there's a Kernanos, there's a Chronos, there's a Nemesis. If any of those turn up to that fight, instantly going to turn the tables on that. Nemesis taking a lot of damage, gets taunted in as well. Tenan Shadowfist puts it in. Captain Twig picking up some retribution for himself this time.
And that's so important for Obey. I mean, we talked a little bit earlier about how difficult it is to pilot Ravana when you fall behind there in the jungle in particular, because you don't have that constant source of farm. But getting the kill back on his jungle counterpart is so important. So important.
It certainly will help.
Oracle's looking like they're going the way of Obey here. Gold Fury again secured just a few moments ago, so that wasn't available for them when they had a bit of a power play, but they do go ahead and secure the Oracles, get something to start cutting back into about this 2,000 gold lead we're seeing from Dignitas.
Indeed. Interesting that we're seeing here from Zeros. Usually when he's played this Soul, he's always gone for that Bancross talent to get that amount of power.
Variety in trouble
Maniac
again.
doing as much damage as he can. We're going to see a repeat of this exact thing. It looks like we are. We've seen this exact same plane before. We've seen a Milzy take the exact same kill.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Indeed, indeed. And now this is going to really allow Maniac that potential to just, when he does rotate, when he starts to become an impact in this, it's going to be a lot more than Maniac originally would be able to do. Looks like there's going to be a little bit more aggression chasing away from the Gold Fury. Mystic Rust forced out defensively. Wild Hunt gets Ataraxia and Pretty Prime, forces the beats there as well. Two-man taunt in there from Emilzy. Final Judgment gets taken out, puts in damage, but it's all on to Trick's tank, and he's the tank.
I agree. This team fight here has been a bit of a slobber knocker. They're getting a lot of damage out, but no kill secured just yet. I think it's because the Gold Fury just recently respawned. That's why we're seeing a lot of this aggression.
They want that pressure. And already, Team Dignitas managing to take out those Oracles there. They do have that vision available to them, and they're going to go for it again by the looks of it. Now, as I was mentioning earlier, Zeros before when he's played, actually, they're just going to go straight for the Gold Fury. Well, I mean, it makes perfect sense. They managed to force away a decent fight. They had a decent engage for it.
Emilzy is here to do something and try and contest it. Team Dignitas able to secure that Gold Fury, and looks like they're going to get a whole lot more. Emilzy to lead it there. He was forced to go in deep, trying to contest that Gold Fury. Now it's Maniac who's in the back line, trying to get some damage on. Wild Hunt looks like might be coming out, or at least the Tremors from Cabrakan. Lots of damage moving here now onto the blue team. Variety able to put Maniac into the ground. Looks like now we've got 5 members still strong coming out from Team Dignitas. Gets the slow off on the Captain Twig, but using that 2 was enough to get him out.
This has not been a great engagement. Emilzy went in, look for the steal. We then see Maniac teleport in, go for this follow-up engagement. Like, you always want to think, all right, they've just done Gold Fury. What are they going to want to do, and can we stop them doing anything more? In that situation, what happened there was Emilzy went in, died. Maniac went in, died. Captain Twig went in, died. Pretty Prime and Ataraxia got CC'd out and couldn't get in that engagement. So they have been able to hold a little bit. Dignitas didn't seem quite so sure. They sort of move over to the mid lane, look to try and pressure the tier 1 tower in. Could look towards that Portal Demon as well when it starts to respawn. They're looking to try and put a little bit of pressure onto that right-hand side where we've seen Maniac get pretty much free farm the entire time.
And I think the reason why Emilzy was picked off so early was no one else from Obey was local, so he had to go in and try and contest it on his own. And when he was unable to secure the Gold Fury, it would have been worth trading his life. But then he was left all alone there to get taken out. But it looks like it was such a long, prolonged engagement. Gold Fury's back actually up here again for him to try and contest as well.
I like what Arkil was doing there. It was a win-win either way. Either he solos the Gold Fury and gets Dignitas ahead, or he pulls someone in for a rotation. Cubo Fred was waiting around that corner. It was entirely a bait, but if that had turned into getting the Gold Fury itself, You just sort of look and go, all
Yeah,
right.
it costs Arkle nothing to do that there, just like you were saying. But it looks like this time we got a bit more of a hard commit coming out from Dignitas. Gold Fury is already at half health, and Obey are getting properly zoned out by that tanky Kabrak, and Emilzy once again the one that's getting stunned.
This is going to be important. Obey really need to try and stop this bleeding. They are 6,000 gold in the lead right now. Looks like they're going to be moving their way over to that portal. And this has been such a focused game from them right now. From minute one, they've known the strategy, they've known where they're going to pressure, and they've known how they're going to pressure. Emilzy and Captain Twig have been the 2 pressure points for Obey. And they've pressured them so hard that they haven't had any real decent engagement. Emilzy hasn't been able to dash in and get a taunt to set up Final Judgment off of. Captain Twig can't go in, because if he goes in, Divine Judgment is going to come down on him. Then he's suddenly really squishy, so that kind of defeats the purpose of him going in and not dying.
No, I wholeheartedly agree. I think that we recognized early on that Team Dignitas was looking for a bit of a later game comp here, and being able to secure that mid-game into the late game was so important for him. Now that we see Obey, it is Dignitas that does hold that lead. Now that Obey is down by about that 6k gold, it's going to be very difficult for him to come back in. My eyes are going to be, though, on Emilzy and Pretty Prime. I think a big way for them to get back into this is Emilzy securing that taunt he struggled with, and then Pretty Prime getting off a big ultimate onto someone important from Dignitas. I'm thinking maybe Arkle, maybe Zeros if he can get him before he get his ultimate off.
At this point.
Right, absolutely. Try and cut down on some of that damage. That's going to be what's going to be the key for Obey, I believe, to get back into this game.
Well, we've seen how well that Pretty Prime has been playing. He's gone for this Doom Mob almost every single time he's played this character.
Yeah.
He's been in the backline so very far away, as Dignitas are pushing everyone from Obey so very far away from that right side of the map back into the lane. Variety spending his ultimate there more so just to cut off the pathway, really wanting to try and isolate one player. And this pick potential that Dignitas have is working so well, and you can see already Mystic Rush Force and Defender of Olympus comes out as well. Divine Judgment has been used onto Maniac. He's going to do what he can right now, but it looks like we're going to see Amaterasu get 2-man stun going through there. Wild Balls forces out the overhead kick coming through, but Zeros still manages to pick off Maniac. Just as everyone's disengaging, they're just being pelted by more and more CC. There is nothing that Obey have been able to do. We've seen them now, what, 3 times over this right-hand side. And what's happening now? Dignitas, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, they've managed to push themselves a little bit further. They are now just invading everything. They're putting that pressure that they've managed to secure for themselves, and they're saying, hey, this jungle, it's our jungle now. You don't get this.
Yeah,
we get this far.
What's so important there in that last team fight is, like you said, they've been able to hold Maniac down, I think, pretty well throughout this game. That means in this last team fight, when Maniac is up front trying to form that front line, get poke off, keep them away from his back line, it's taking too much damage. That way, when the team fight actually breaks out, Maniac's looking to disengage, he's already at about half health. There's just no way for him to disengage. That's what went wrong for them there in that team fight. And you saw Dignitas did not sleep on it. They got, as F. likes to say, the stuff after the stuff. And now they're going to be looking to come back over here, I'm imagining, around this Fire Giant area, trying to get some vision control and look to get their next big objective so they can start making a push.
Well, being almost 10,000 gold up as it stands in the situation, in fact, just ticking almost over into that, 200 gold shy, they're at that point where wherever they want to try and take a fight, they're still going to be able to take it, though. Pretty Prime doing a lot of damage into Cubo. Fred gets himself caught out in a little bit of a situation. He's going to try and rush down into the back line. Does get picked up by Ataraxia. There's that ult coming through, really trying to save him. Maniac really now just not able to get out. They committed so hard into this fight, and it's not turned out well for them in the slightest.
That's going to be a lot of big damage there for him. It was so bad for them. Osiris able to get into the backline, do so much damage onto that backline carry for them. But it looks like at this point in the fight, they're kind of going to spread out here. Both sides have sort of taken some losses. It still came out in favor of Team Dignitas, though. I believe they only lost 1 and changed for 2 there for Obey. But now we're looking forward here. Team Dignitas was able to secure that Fire Giant. They're pushing now on that right-hand side of the map, and there's really not much Obey can do to contest this. Against the Fire Giant team, you know you got to defend this Phoenix. What should Obey be looking to do here?
Obey really needs to just be looking to try and hold as much as they can, bait out as much as they can without committing too hard. We saw what happened in that last engagement. We got a very small amount of damage. We got almost half hit Cubo Fred from Pretty Prime. It was amazing. That was great. But the fact is, the pathing they all took, they all tried to commit on him so hard. We saw Maniac dump into the backline. He jumped in, Divine Retribution came out. And again, every single time that has come out, it has come out and that person has died in this situation. At this point as well, it's try and hold out as long as you can. Obey need to look back at this game and go, all right, what happened? What went wrong? We managed to pick up ourselves the Ravan that we've done fantastic work on. Maniac, we had him ahead in this game. What went wrong and where it was? I kind of feel like it may have been Emilzy in this. Emilzy wasn't on a pick that we've seen him on a lot recently. I mean, you've got to have Athena in your pool if you're playing a support, but
Yeah,
I just don't
agree.
feel
That dueling, I think, probably didn't go ideally for them over there. I mean, even if you remember back towards that early start, I mean, Ataraxia didn't even start moving into that Transcendence, or at least, he started building it until a little bit later in this game. But I want to talk a little bit more here about what Obey's options are here for trying to slow down this Fire Giant team. Clearly, I think we give up the Tier 2 towers here in this situation.
Have to. There's no reason to fight on this. It just means that if you do get picked off, you're going to give up more than one Phoenix. At this point, it is going to be a hold on the Phoenix as Dignitas systematically sweep across the map. And looking at it, Obey really haven't ever had any momentum within this game. They've had one tower go down, and it looks like now they're going to be looking over towards this left-hand side Phoenix, furthest away from the Fire Giant, so it does give them a lot of pressure when it comes to really trying to look for a fight and getting that second Fire Giant. It's sort of, you see this from a lot of teams. It's first Fire Giant, we take as many of the structures as physically possible. We try and get some kills, get a little bit more gold. We back up, we buy up, we use that advantage that we've just suddenly got, and we try and push for that next Gold Fury. Final Judgment is still available from Thoth. This can be a complete game changer, but the question is, will he get it on the target that he needs to?
Yeah, what I'm thinking here is that Emils is going to have to find a huge taunt, at least 2 or 3 people here for them to have any kind of chance of holding on this defense. It looks like Final Judgment's being charged up here on the backline, but not very much damage at all coming out. Wild Hunt from Kurnos is coming out here. QO Fred able to secure the curse skill to fight onto Emilzy, as well as getting a kill on their Ataraxia. That's a nice double. QO Fred's been on fire this game. We're also seeing Ravana fall down the backline to Kurnos. This is a 4-man wipe here, and I think we're probably going to see the end of the game as well.
That does indeed look like the end of the game. It felt like Maniac was trying to do the, all right, you've engaged, I'm going to engage as well. Oh, Dignitas? They didn't care. There was one more frontliner who wasn't in the way of them. Cuvo Fred finally picks up, and that, ladies and gentlemen, will be game 1 of Dignitas vs. Obey.
Hey, what's up, folks? Tom Battinger here. On behalf of everybody that took part, thanks for watching the caster. We really appreciate it. But if you want to dig even deeper and find behind-the-scenes action, some commentary, and all the other fun stuff, check out the caster's YouTube page, youtube.com/thecastershow. We definitely appreciate it, and we'll see you later.